From the beginning of the Omicron variant wave that's been steadily increasing in numbers here in the US, we have hoped and had reason to believe that it might be different than previous waves in that, yes, it is very, very transmissible, far more than the first original COVID-19 that was going around. But it appeared that the evidence from Africa was that it would not be particularly severe, that hospitalizations and deaths would not go up at the same rate as cases as has been the case in past waves. Well, it is still entirely possible that that will be the case, but the initial evidence from certain cities is not looking great. So take a look at the New York Times, a summary of how New York City, Boston, and Chicago have been doing. So here you can see comparisons between cases and deaths 21 days later in those cases, and in all three of these cities, deaths have been going up in the wake of cases. It takes about 3 weeks apparently, but the relationship between those two things seems pretty strong. It might be weaker than Delta or the original variant, but this is hardly what we were hoping would be the result, Francesca.
No, absolutely not. And I hope that we're gonna see that those number of deaths like actually peter out. Like what I would hope is that there are way more cases because those are highly vaccinated cities. And we understand that, I mean, if it got to last September a year ago or September 2020 levels, I would highly doubt that it would get that bad. But that being said, like the people who are dying are largely unvaccinated folks. That's not to say that that is the only way to stop the transmission or the deaths, but it is a very, very good way. I know that there are people who've gotten vaccinated twice, didn't get the booster, but then have also died because of that. And especially because people who think that because they're vaccinated, they don't need to go to the hospital. Obviously, y'all, if it's bad, you should go.
Exactly.
But sadly, this is what we thought. We knew deaths were gonna follow, and we will see in the next few weeks. Again, I do hope those deaths like even out and go the other way, even as cases continue to rise because this thing is just so transmissible.
Exactly, yeah, no, totally. We're gonna show you another graphic here. You can see the hospitalization numbers going up, that's very worrying. And remember, I mean, we are being hard hit, not just in cases, but now in hospitalizations, and it looks like in deaths, as you just alluded to, cities that are fairly well vaccinated. Yep. And after a year and a half of, let's keep it real, the most vulnerable people bearing the brunt initially of COVID. Lots of people who were the most vulnerable got sick and died early on. And yet we still are generating a lot of apparently serious illness. Deaths have not necessarily been proportionate in the same way as in past peaks, but there are just so many more people getting sick that it's entirely possible that we will exceed the death numbers, even if the relationship is a little bit more tenuous.
Yeah.
As Francesca alluded to, though, there is a major difference in how vaccinated versus unvaccinated people are doing. So I want you to take a look at this chart. And let's leave this chart up for just a minute, because I want to make a point about this. Being hopeful about Omicron, like crossing your fingers and saying, I really hope that this isn't as bad, that makes sense. Looking at data, for instance, from South Africa, and then saying, I have some hope, that makes sense. But there have been so many people, you can go back if you want. There have been so many people who have so giddily declared that the pandemic is over. And some of them are just right wingers, like Brian, not Kilmeade, Gutfeld, the other Kilmeade. Gutfeld has been saying it's over, we're done with this. But also some of the post-left people are like, don't listen anymore. We're done with this, we're moving on. It's not serious, you don't have to worry about it. Or have been like, because they've been made so much money last year off of encouraging people not to take vaccinations seriously, will not want you to pay attention to that chart. That even if it is more mild, it is because of vaccination that it's more mild. That I'd love to see the chart of, how many more people are being saved by ivermectin during Omicron? That's not what it is. It's not colloidal silver. Like the reason it's not as bad as it could be is because people have taken the medical experts seriously. And God, I hope that they continue doing that.
I think I've been frustrated for the last few weeks. Number one, as a stand-up comic, as an artist, I think a lot of folks are not doing shows, not going out. Some people still are. That's the only way they can make money. It's their only livelihood. I understand that. I'm not here to judge, but it is a really, really, really tough time if you're in the arts and just in all workers, right? So again, the like federal response, the economic response just isn't there. It's not matching the current spread of this virus. But the second thing, what I really want to say is, yes, we are protecting the most vulnerable right now, immunocompromised, the children who cannot get vaccinated currently. Yes, we are protecting those folks. But we're also protecting the unvaccinated. We are going out of our way. People are staying home. People are not going out. People are not living their lives to the fullest, canceling trips, canceling gatherings, because the unvaccinated think that, Bill Gates is gonna inject Windows XP into their bloodstream. Like these are people who think that, once again, that they are somehow oppressed, that they are because they have to show a vax card. How dare you? No, honey, you're a special class. We treat you special. We bend over backwards. You get all the hospital beds. You get us to stay home. You get us to freak out because we don't want to stop the spread, because you guys are the vectors for this thing. You guys are the ones who might die. Yeah, we might also get sick, but we are not gonna die. So who is oppressed here in this situation? And I'm kind of tired of it, honestly. I don't know, like I am very, very tired of protecting the unvaccinated.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. Yeah, and again, like if we talk about stakes, like it's, oh my God, they say maybe in 2022 you'll need another shot. Okay, then I'll go to Walgreens and I'll get the shot in 10 minutes. That's what I'll do. I'm probably also gonna go to Jack in the Box 75 times this year. Errands are not the worst thing imaginable. I don't get, it's literally free. You are so like crazily privileged in this country. You can just get medicine that'll save your life in this one very narrow case for free at stores all over the place. No, I don't want to, because again, as you pointed out, I'm worried about XP. I mean, imagine Vista in my heart.
Imagine like we talked about the tests that are being wasted in Florida.
Yeah.
The reporting yet to be done about the number of wasted vaccines that I know has been, but my God, when we take a stock of all this, meanwhile, countries in the global South can't even get their hands on a single dose, so.
For more political news, breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.